I just, I mean, I have a lot of personal history with just like Animal Crossing as like just like a whole series.
Hmm.
There was like a good chunk of like in my younger life where I went through like depression and I was like socially awkward and I didn't have a lot of friends and I was picked on a lot. So, I spent a lot of time like specifically like middle school and even high school, on the weekends, like just playing video games, kind of like in my room, kind of like a hermit, yeah, if you will. And so, I felt very lonely around like those times and like and stuff like that. I don't want to go too much into just like my mental health and just like all that stuff, but it's definitely not depression is real and like all that sort of thing. So playing Animal Crossing definitely helped me kind of like find that kind of like peace in mind. And like while I'm not saying it's like a great alternative to seeking like professional help and like or talking to someone about it, it did give me a sense of clarity and significance in a point in my life.
Was that like through your like interaction basically with like the characters in those games, like where it kind of helped you overcome those feelings basically? Or
Yeah, it really helped me overcome that. It gave me a type of agency that I felt like in my personal life I wasn't getting at that point in time. And it kind of just kept me grounded.
Let me tell you, you are not alone here. All right, I have. First off, I've witnessed it firsthand within my own family. Socially anxious siblings of mine would literally, we could not get them to leave the house and play with friends and kind of engage, in the normal places that they were used to going to, church and after school activities. But like, and it was always in seasons, right? Like always sometimes they just would kind of go in and out of their normal social patterns. And I always noticed those were the times where they would just pull out the GameCube or pull out the Wii and really hit the Animal Crossing real hard. And it was because it is a way to socialize in safety. There are so many articles and essays written about how Animal Crossing helps with, mental health patterns where you want that kind of socialization and you want kind of the training wheels, when your brain kind of can't handle the full-on experience, right? And it's one of those engaging and safe places where you can just feel comfortable, but also take part in other people's lives to a lesser degree that is not so intense on your own mental health. I know for me, I go through kind of waves of the same way where I can be an extreme social butterfly and then maybe I'm not feeling so great or maybe like something's just kind of knocking me down. Maybe winter has hit me hard and I want the socialization, but not the obligation, right? Like I want to be able to talk to people. I want to be able to be a part of their lives, but I don't want anybody looking at me and I don't want anybody talking back at me. I just kind of want to dive in a little bit.
You want to kind of socialize at your own pace, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. and those are kind of the months. I notice it's definitely a winter thing for me. Seasonal depression is definitely real within me and my family. And, same with my daughter. Like we hit games like Stardew Valley real hard, because it's a way for us to engage and kind of have that experience, but do it in a way that is kind of nurturing and comforting to us, and
to do, yeah.
Yeah, and Animal Crossing, I think, is one of those really relaxing, comforting places where we don't have to be afraid to just play it cool. And there are so many articles. I mean, while you were talking about this, I know I just watched a YouTube essay of somebody discussing it, and there's this one by Screen Therapy called Animal Crossing New Leaf for Mental Health and Well-Being. And they, talk about the same concept, Boldly Wired, Animal Crossing and Mental Health. There's a 16-minute essay on it. This is something I think that can't be disputed. Animal Crossing makes everybody feel good. And there's a lot of games out there that are stressful and intense and competitive, and they got stories that are real hardcore. And sometimes you just need this to kind of like cleanse the palate and make you feel okay. Just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely more like easygoing and like allow you to kind of go at your own pace, basically. And
yeah.
It's like you said, being able to like, I guess, like interact with I don't know, other characters in this case, basically, but like without, I guess, like that fearful.
Socialization without obligation.
Well, it's just basically like not having that fear of being judged back, basically, because they're video game characters.
Nobody's
so they're obviously
looking
not
at
gonna...
you.
Exactly, yeah, unless they're programmed that way, I guess, or whatever. But as far as I know, anyway, because I'm not like an Animal Crossing like guy at all personally. Like I haven't really played through like any of the games except for Pocket Camp a little bit, which doesn't count really.
But because it's a spinoff, so yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, like, but from what I gather anyway from the Animal Crossing series, it is pretty easygoing, and you're not going to have Tom Nook or whatever like judge you basically for the decisions that you make in the game. Exactly, yeah. Regardless of what the memes say, anyway, Tom Nook does not actually do any of that in the game itself. So.